What's up, nerds? Welcome to the All Things Nerd podcast. We're your hosts this week. My name's Jake.
I'm Chad. This week's episode, we're going to dive into the series finale of WandaVision. We're also going to talk about things that we were wrong about, things that we were right about, and theories that are to come in future Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but before we get into that, this week's episode is sponsored by
Crybaby Craig's. This is the best damn hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic sauce that truly goes on everything.
We're also sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks. Seriously great energy drinks. There's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 crash. They have it in pre-made cans as well as little packets. If you're watching along, that's what we're using this week as a packet of it. Seriously great, guys.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. All right, welcome back, nerds. Now, before we get into what we're going to talk about for this episode, we do have to kind of walk back a couple things that we said last week.
Yeah.
So last week, if you remember, we had an entire segment where we talked about Amber Heard being fired from Aquaman 2.
We were excited.
We were excited, but we are sorry because that actually is not the case.
Well, it just hasn't been confirmed yet. That is still in the works as far as we know.
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed. There's different rumors going around. Also that maybe, she was suggested that she should step down in light of all the trials and stuff like that. But she hasn't officially been fired. So we do just want to say sorry if you guys got excited like we did about her being fired, because that's not the case. She is still technically on a part of the cast.
Yeah.
What I will not apologize for is the things that we said about her
after announcing that,
or our judgment based on how she treated Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I still think that as a person, she's probably not the best.
She sucks.
Yeah, she's not great, guys. Yeah. She's still.
We're really hoping that we can do in a week or two.
Walk back.
Yeah, and say that.
And just walk
Just
forward.
Kidding, she is fired.
But as of right now, she is still hired by Warner Brothers. She's still set to appear in Aquaman 2. And we jumped the gun on that. And we're sorry. Because that's not cool for us to
give you false information.
False information. Now, with that being said, we're actually going to get into the episode. Episode 9, WandaVision.
Series finale. Fucking dope. Chad, open it up. Where we started with where we left off. So.
Yeah, it literally picks up right where the last episode left off. So Wanda is out in the street. The twins are being choked by Agatha.
She's got a serious fetish problem.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Daddy.
Purple leashes on kids.
But they're screaming in pain. Wanda wants to save her kids. And, Agatha, yanks on the leashes. The kids fall down. Wanda throws a blast of magic at Agatha. She goes flying, lands on her back on the street, way in the distance. Well, not super way in the distance, but, a decent way. And she tells the twins, go inside. And they're like, no, we want to stay out here. And she's like, well, before she could say anything...
Well, before that, when Wanda hits Agatha with the whatever, Agatha absorbs it. She doesn't get hit by it. She absorbs the power.
Right,
and Wanda's hand turns black.
Yeah, it starts to wither away.
And then Agatha fucking hits her with the boom and knocks her on her ass. Wanda tells the kids to go inside.
Yeah, you're right. And Agatha mentions,
They really start this episode off with right away with
right
some
in
action.
Your face in your action. Wanda hits Agatha with that. She goes flying. She lands on the ground, and then it looks cool, but it's also kind of creepy. Like, Agatha doesn't lift herself off the ground. She just kind of like
Oh yeah,
rises.
Michael Jackson's their way off the fucking ground.
Just,
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Dumb and Dumber. when Jim Carrey gets just fucking knocked on his ass and he's like, oh. Goes like, yeah.
Oh goodness, yes. But so Agatha's like, well, Wanda, I absorb powers. I take powers from witches that don't deserve it.
Don't deserve it. Yeah, that's important.
And Wanda's hand kind of glows. It's her darkened hand.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like twirling her fingers, and then
She's doing that Wanda thing. You know, it's like this.
just like you're.
I'm sorry.
I don't even. It's like you're about to tell someone to turn their head and cough. But like, she doesn't reattack Agatha with that glowing energy that's in her hand, but a car comes flying from a few houses down and just yeets Agatha right into a neighbor's house.
Into a fucking house, yeah.
And it's kind of it's a fun throwback to when Wanda is throwing the cars at
Tony
during Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I watched this episode with my mom, and when Wanda did that, she's like, hey, she did that to Iron Man. I was like, yeah, she likes to throw cars.
That's adorable.
But so Agatha is smashed into this house.
Yeah.
You see her boots sticking out.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Under the car.
So Wanda goes and peeks under the car to see if Agatha is just crushed under there, and all you see is Agatha's boots sticking out. It's very reminiscent to
it's very Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
But that was also the Witch of the East.
It was the Wicked Witch.
No, the Wicked Witch wasn't the one that got crushed. It was the Good Witch. So it, right off the bat, in my mind at least, I was like, oh.
How many witches were in fucking
at
Wizard of Oz?
At least 2.
It had to have been 3, because there was the good one that does like the, like twinkle, blah, blah, blah. And then there was the bad one who gets melted at the end.
The Wicked Witch of the West.
And then there was one that got fucking
crushed by the house. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought the one that got crushed was a bad one, because that's what the not Oompa Loompas, Jesus Christ,
the Munchkins.
The Munchkins start singing, "Ding Dong, the witches." They're happy that. So it must have been 2 bad witches on.
Or were the Munchkins just under the Wicked Witch? I don't know. This is so off topic. I'm sorry, guys.
Comments and tell us if what the fuck's going on, because we apparently do not know.
If you love Judy Garland more than you love the MCU, or you just know more about the world of Oz, you just let us know.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, I thought it was the Good Witch, but she turns out to not be dead.
But
it's just been a long time since I've seen.
I do remember, like, after the house crushes, like the shoes are sticking out, but then they like curl up and like under the. Let us know. Because I don't know.
Correct us on this one, because clearly we don't know either.
Yeah. Clearly. We have no fucking clue.
But anyways, so Wanda, after she sees Agatha's, it's just her boots. Like, she slipped out of her boots or did something.
Or like purposely left them there to like distract Wanda.
Yeah, it could have been that too. But she stands up, and then what's remaining of the front window of this house that this car and Agatha were just demolished through, you see, it looks like Vision floating down, but he's all white, if you remember.
The end credit scene, if you didn't know that there was an end credit scene on the last episode, there was an end credit scene, and it is Anti-Vision.
Yeah, so
they're calling him White Vision
or Spectral Vision. It really depends on your reference to the comics, or if you're just going off of what people are calling him on the internet.
But basically, he floats down. Wanda is like, Vision.
Is that really you? Because she can tell just by looking at him that it's not the Vision that she's created.
White.
Yeah, he's all white. Like, there's no definition. I mean, there's
he's super cute about it at first. You know, he gives her like a little.
He's like,
cheek
oh,
rub.
Wanda, and he puts his hand on the side of
Yeah.
her face, and she's like, it's really you.
But then he brings his other hand up on the other side of her face, and you can hear her skull just start crunching.
He goes full Mountain to Oberon, Game of Thrones style.
Oh yeah.
Just wants to crush that watermelon and just.
That
was a great scene too.
That was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones was Martell.
No, Pedro Pascal is dope. I mean, that's all that it comes down to.
Yeah, I raped her and I did this.
Yeah. Sorry. If you guys haven't seen Game of Thrones, Pedro Pascal's character is out for blood for the person that murdered and raped his wife and daughters. That's what Jake was talking about when he threw out that line. But from there, as Anti-Vision is trying to crush Wanda's skull, he's like, I thought you were powerful, and she's screaming in pain because obviously it hurts, and out of nowhere, just whoosh,
Vision in Technicolor.
Yeah, the Technicolor Vision
just swoops Anti-Vision right out of the fucking air.
Out of the way, basically tackles him, throws him like a block down the street into an RV. It explodes in glorious propane. I'll tell you what.
I sell propane and propane accessories. I'll tell you what.
I'm glad that you got that right.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, Mike Judge.
So he gets thrown into the RV. It's an explosion. Wanda turns to her vision, the one that's in full color. Yeah. And is like, I'm so sorry. I should have told you what's going on. And how does he respond?
He says, or she says, this is our home.
Well, but before that, when she's like, I'm so sorry. I should have told you I should have told you the truth. I should have told you everything once I figured out what it was. And he said, it's okay. I understand why you did this.
Yeah. And then she says, this is our home, Vision. And he says, then let's fight for it.
Yes.
And then he attacks Anti-Vision. And then...
he's walking away, super Terminator style.
Yeah.
From the flames.
And then...
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. And then fucking... Wanda goes off after Agatha, who is now floating above like the water tower, I think, at that point.
Yeah, she kind of appears.
But we finally get to see Wanda like fly in the series, which she hasn't, other than like in the living room with Vision.
Right. So they both kind of go off to fight their respective
counterparts,
villains, whatever. You get a really cool fight between Vision and Vision.
Anti-Vision. Vision and Anti-Vision. Technicolor in black and white.
Yeah. Monochromatic and RGB.
Yeah.
But they're fighting in the sky, flying around, and Vision, the Westview Vision, the one that we learned at the end of the last episode, Wanda created from nothing.
Technicolor Vision. For the sake of the podcast.
Technicolor Vision. Is like, why are you doing this? And Anti-Vision responds with, I have...
Ooh, not yet, buddy.
Well, he says he has to destroy Wanda first.
Yeah, but that's after they go into the library.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. You did this to me last episode. What was that? Say that again?
I'm wrong.
Yes.
He's right, I'm wrong. So they're fighting in the air. I think Vision does ask him why he's doing this while they're fighting the first time.
I think
he just says it's my primary directive.
Yeah, but then he just fucking plows him from the sky into the...
Well, you get to see them kind of, because Vision can phase a little bit. So
that was dope. That part was so cool.
He can either be solid or not solid.
Yeah.
And so obviously so can Anti-Vision. So they're like throwing punches. They're kind of like phasing in and out of each other. So like arms are getting stuck together.
Yeah. I'm like, like he can either be soft or hard. I'm like, oh man, I can make a joke here so easily. I was trying not to.
Most guys will understand that you can be soft or hard.
But it was cool.
At really any given moment, too.
But it was cool. They were punching each
Mom.
other and like, sorry, Mom. And they're like, their fists were getting stuck in each other.
But yeah, they're like catching each other's punches like in their chest. Like they'll phase, the arm will go through them, then they'll get hard, and then they get stuck, and so they just fly straight down into the ground. And
I'm still pulling myself together here. Sorry.
No, it's a good fight scene though.
Yeah, it is a great fight scene. Do not rate that fight scene
based on our commentary. We're man children. Is what we are. We're just giant man childs.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to Wanda. She's landing like in the town square. And she's starting to walk around, and kind of what happens from there.
Or are you this is when so then Agatha shows back up above Wanda, and she basically says, I don't remember what she says. I remember the scene. I'm trying to remember what she says.
Yeah, it's along the lines of power isn't your problem.
Oh, and that's when and then she shows Wanda the Darkhold, which is what Chad. Yes, good for you. You were fucking right.
I was right. So Agatha actually calls it the Darkhold.
The Darkhold.
She says there's an entire chapter dedicated to you as the Scarlet Witch.
Chaos magic.
In the Darkhold, saying that you use chaos magic.
This is, if you remember last episode, our episode, not the show's episode, last episode of the episode before, Chad he definitely called this and said he thought it was the Darkhold and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so he was right.
Yeah, way to play that down.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing it down.
So the Darkhold is a dark magical book.
Which is the missing book, we think,
from Doctor Strange.
From Doctor Strange.
If it's not, there's too many coincidences at this point.
It has to be, yeah.
It has to be. But so the Darkhold is a book of dark magic.
Yeah.
It was, in the comics, it was created by Chthon, who is the eternal god of chaos. In the comics, also, though, Mephisto has used the book to create portals and travel between dimensions. Yeah. So it's up in the air who's the big baddie behind the Darkhold at this point in time.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it more. Yeah, we'll get more into it.
But anyways, so Agatha shows up, reveals the Darkhold to Wanda, basically starts telling Wanda all this shit. You're the witch, you're the chaos witch, all this stuff. And Wanda is basically like, I'm not what you say I am. I'm not a witch. Like, I don't know spells. I don't know how to...
No one's taught me magic.
Yeah. And, I mean...
And so Agatha is like, okay. And she kind of, like, flicks her hand. And then we see Dottie.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of like...
This is a very cool scene.
Yellow glaze goes over her face. Kind of similar to when Vision would, like, tap... like Norm or Agnes.
Agnes at some point.
As we thought.
Basically with the touchy on the temple, which is what we've been calling it.
Yeah, that's how we refer to it, as the temple touch or the touchy, which, sounds like a bedroom thing. I like the touchy. But, sorry, Mom. So Agatha flickers her hand, does the same thing as like the tappy tap to Dottie, breaks her off from Wanda's like influence, control, whatever you want to call it, and she immediately, she's already facing Wanda.
Dottie.
Just from Dottie's already facing Wanda just from across the
parking lot street.
Yeah, it's kind of like the town center, so it's kind of like a weird. It's like a roundabout.
Sure.
To our friends from the north, I'm trying to speak more like the Canadians. So what are you talking about? But so anyways, Dottie sees Wanda and starts running up to her, and she's like, Wanda, and she's like, Dottie, and she's like, actually, my name's Sarah.
Was it? Yeah, Sarah.
I have a daughter. She's 8 years old. Maybe she could be friends with your boys.
If you like that timeline.
Yeah, if you like that
storyline.
Or she could be like the class bully.
Yeah.
Just please let her out of her room. I just want to be able to hug my daughter again.
And then Wanda's like, looks at Agatha and is like, why are you doing this? Why are you making them say these things?
Yeah, and
and
Agatha's like, I'm not making them say anything.
They're your meat puppets.
Yeah, they're your meat puppets. I just cut their strings.
Their tether, yeah, their strings. Yeah, she said strings.
And Wanda looks confused, and then Agatha flicks her fingers again.
Everyone
in the town center.
The whole town, she cuts everybody's strings, or whatever you want to call it, influence from Wanda to the town.
Yeah.
And they all start fucking coming at her.
So we see like Herb being like, I don't recognize my face in the mirror or my voice. I try to resist you, but I don't remember why. And Norm, who comes running, is like, along those same lines. And then we see Deborah Jo Rupp.
Yeah. What was her name in the show?
Just Mrs. Hart. That's all that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, we never.
Deborah Jo Rupp is. We've said this every time we bring her name up. She was Kitty from that '70s show.
Yes.
She was Eric's mom.
In the show, she's just Mrs. Hart. We never got a first name for her, but we see her a couple of other times, just like in passing.
Yeah.
Other than the first episode, she doesn't have a major role up until this
point. That was
point.
her biggest part in the whole series. Was until that.
But that, like, Wanda's being swarmed by
They
everyone in
all
town.
basically start coming at her from like all angles, and like coming at her.
They all come at her, and they start saying things like, "When you do finally let us sleep, we live your nightmares."
Yeah, we feel your pain, and then basically Wanda goes, "No, you're lying," and she covers her ears and screams, "Stop!" And basically everybody surrounding her just, you see Wanda's red magic shit around their necks, and they all start choking and falling to the ground.
And Wanda's like, I'm sorry. And she like waves her hands, and they all like gasp for air.
Or no, what's her face? Deborah Jo Rupp says, if you're not going to release us, at least let us die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you kind of get Wanda kind of gets finally in the probably the first time in the series. So, well, not so far because it's over, but she finally understands that she is the cause of all of these people's pain.
Yeah, and she also, on top of seeing it, she starts to realize how much pain she's causing these people. And so she's like, okay, fine, I'll let you go. And she stands up, kind of looks around, and Agatha looks at her and is like, well, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Heroes don't torture people.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, you're
what? Yeah, and she's like, why are you...
She doesn't say anything, but she's like, you're right. So she like forges magic in her hands.
Well, Agnes or Agatha says, but what's going to happen to your...
Well, that happens after she starts.
Oh, yeah.
So she starts like shooting her energy, her magic, like up towards the sky to like hit the top point of the hex.
Yeah.
It starts to kind of like deteriorate.
Well, kind of. It basically just starts opening like a gate
at every single like
corner of the hex,
if you will. Yeah.
And she tells everybody, "Get out."
Yeah, like run. You're free. I'm sorry. Just go.
But while people are escaping, Senor Dickhead,
aka Director Tyler Hayward. Oh,
and his,
I'm sorry. I'm reading the French Canadian translation says.
And his group of, as another Oz thing, his group of flying monkeys, they all rush in through these. That wasn't a part in the show. I was just saying that.
Well, no, I know what you mean. But
him and his peeps fucking rush into the. Oh, we totally missed the Jimmy Woo part. We totally skipped over Jimmy Woo here.
Jimmy Woo is underrated. Let's just say he's underrated.
His part when he comes in to basically like is it Tyler Hayward? What's his name?
Tyler Hayward. Yeah.
He basically is like, hey man, like you're gonna go to jail, and Tyler's like, I'm just paraphrasing, get it out of the way real quick since we skipped over it. He's like, oh yeah, who you and who? And he goes, well, I phoned.
He's like, all my friends at Quantico might not agree that what you're doing is the right thing.
And they're going to be here within the hour. And he steals a cell phone, some random cell phone off a counter, sticks it in his pocket. And then they're like, yeah, we don't believe you. And they throw him in the thing. And you're like, damn, maybe he does have someone coming. But then, like, he picks his lock on his
He uses his sleight of hand magic that he's been learning to basically get out of, handcuffs.
It was a safety pin.
Well, yeah. But I mean, that's probably how most sleight of hand magicians get out.
And then he calls Quantico and he goes, "Hey man, could you guys get here within the hour?"
Yeah. And basically, he was bluffing, but he's trying to be the hero. Jimmy Woo is just fucking dope.
So fast forward to where we were talking about. Hayward and his flying monkeys are running into the cracked hex.
Yeah, as it's deteriorating, as it's falling apart, they are able to breach the walls without going through the transformation.
As the town is escaping.
Yeah. And then we see Jimmy Woo like still at the sword base.
Yeah.
And then all of the FBI, well not all, but like
a bunch of FBI.
A large squad of FBI agents all pull up, like sirens blazing, and that's kind of the last that we see of Jimmy Woo, at least for a while.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
And while the hex is coming apart, we see Vision and Anti-Vision, Technicolor Vision.
Technicolor, yeah.
White Vision and Colored Vision.
That doesn't sit well.
So Technicolor Vision and Anti-Vision.
Technicolor.
They're fighting in the sky. They both shoot their head beams at each other. They kind of meet in the middle in a very kind of like Harry Potter-esque style when wizards throw their fucking wands and they meet in the middle. But as the hex is falling apart, you start to see flakes of the
that's right.
Of our vision, the Technicolor Vision.
So because the hex is open when Technicolor Vision and Anti-Vision are fighting, because the hex is open, Technicolor Vision starts falling apart as he's fighting Anti-Vision, and he basically starts falling to the ground. At the same time,
the twins have left the house. They're trying. It was a quick throwaway scene, so it's not a big deal. They basically left the house to go help their mom.
The one with the mind shit.
Speed.
No. He
Wiccan,
sees that they're in trouble,
which is Billy. Yeah. Billy is Wiccan,
and he's like, "We gotta go," and then they
bolt out of their house to basically go find their mom to try and help. Vision falls to the ground. He hits the ground, but as he gets up, he's really flaking apart, and he's almost he's like glitching.
He's like he's like half himself, and then you see the kids just show up, and they're falling apart
as they're
too.
Running, they start to fall apart also.
Basically, everyone's screaming for a Vision, screaming at the kids, boys, and the kids are screaming for mom, which is Wanda, and Wanda's just kind of standing there like, "Oh, what the shit?" As
she's still trying to like take down the hex. And Agatha says, "Well, don't you see? You tied your family to this fake reality.
You can't have both.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other."
Yeah.
And so Wanda, just out of heartbreak, stops pulling down the hex.
Not about to kill her family.
Stops pulling it apart. You see all the borders reclose.
Yep.
Vision and the twins, they both kind of like rematerialize into like their full selves, and they run up to Wanda. It's like a big family hug. Kisses are shared, just like everyone, like kisses on the cheek, foreheads. Like basically it's a family reunion, but like in a really happy sense. And
we did kind of skip over a pretty big piece though.
Really?
Which is like a big piece. Yeah, sorry.
While the fight is going on,
all this is happening, Monica Rambeau from Jesus.
So
movie
the
title.
daughter of Maria
Jesus,
Rambeau from Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Oh my God.
But she's also been a huge part of this show. She's the one that, as she goes through
she's being held
the hex, she's kind of developed powers because of the magic involved.
And she's being held captive as of right now.
Yeah, in the attic of Agatha's house.
Yeah. By Quicksilver.
Pietro.
Yeah, fake Pietro.
Fake Pietro. And
they
this is a bittersweet moment.
Yeah.
Because she tries to escape.
He does
fake Pietro like beats her to the door, obviously, because he's got super speed.
Yeah. And they make him a total douche, which I mean he is, but
they make him. He's a bro.
Yeah. He's like, this is my man cave. Like, yeah.
Yeah. You like Steven Seagal?
Yeah. So dumb.
But Monica, like, there's like bills on a side table. She looks at it. They're all addressed to Ralph.
Yeah. And then she finds a picture of Ralph, and it's fucking.
But
It's him.
It's him. But so Ralph is the fake Pietro. So that's where we were right in one of our one of our theories.
We're gonna get into Mephisto at the end of this.
Yeah.
But
Ralph
we did think
Mephisto.
that Ralph was going to be Mephisto, and he was not. And we were so wrong, and we're so sorry.
He's literally... Ralph is a failed actor.
Yeah.
His name is Ralph Boner.
The cool part was... So after he beat her to the door, she tries to escape again, and they do like a little do-si-do, but Monica basically fucking picks his ass up, throws him on the ground, sticks her knee in his neck, and then sees the power. She goes, how is she controlling you? How is Agatha controlling you? And her eyes turn a color, and she sees
they turn purple.
Yeah. And the necklace is also going purple, so she realizes that's where it's coming from. She rips the necklace off, and then he turns into a blubbering little bitch.
Yeah, and then he's like a straight bro that finally got...
Don't hurt me.
Yeah. Just spare me. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Ralph turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, he was a dude.
It was literally just a dude named Ralph that was a failed actor.
So again,
that wanted to be famous, probably on Broadway because they're in New Jersey.
So again, Chad's prediction from last week was that
Pietro was Ralph.
Paul Bettany is on what Paul Bettany basically said that there was going to be a huge
surprising cameo
that he always wanted to work alongside with or across from, I think is his actual words.
He said, I always wanted to work across from this actor for my entire life. Not my career, my entire life.
And it was himself as Anti-Vision. Yeah, so you see Technicolor Vision and Anti-Vision on the same screen. So they fucked us. Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah, it was just a giant troll is all that it was. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
also
Chad has been right about a lot of things talking in these series.
Yes.
Makes me angry.
Not to brag, but to brag.
Well, braggadocious.
I was right.
Yeah.
What's that we've been forcing the other one to say to each other?
Mephisto?
I said it last week to you. You said it to me earlier in the episode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
About how I was right and...
I was oblivious to what you were talking about.
That's a cheap shot. He was wrong. That was bullshit.
Anyways, skipping back to where we were, we just forgot to mention that part about Monica.
Yeah.
So we had to jump back a little bit. Going back to where we were talking.
The whole family's together. They turn, not turn, but they kind of like look at each other.
They do a little. What do you call it?
I mean, there's like a family hug.
What's the movie? The Incredibles. They do a little Incredibles moment, like
every member of the family like throws up fists, like it's fucking going
Vision
down.
takes off again.
Anti-Vision shows up again, so Vision goes off.
Wanda basically says to her kids, "You don't know what you're doing, but you were born for this.
We never prepared you for this, but you were born for this." While she says that, the military, like Sword, shows up with Hayward.
Yeah, boys, take care of the military. And then she flies off to fight.
But the only reason that I remember this one line, it's not a significant line, but it's almost cheesy. But the only reason why this line sticks out is because my mom lost it. She thought it was so fucking funny.
Your mom sounds adorable.
She's pretty adorable. If you guys know Tracy, she's great. But so she's great. Wanda turns to the twins. She's like, "Boys, take care of the military. Mommy will be right back."
Oh yeah.
And then she flies off to fight Agatha, and my mom just fucking lost it. She laughed so hard at that line.
When this happens, basically, Senor Dickhead pops out of his Humvee. This is Hayward, Tyler Hayward.
Yeah, all the Sword agents have their guns pulled. Yeah. And it's just on the twins.
Two little kids.
Two 10-year-old boys.
And Hayward pulls out a gun.
Before that, Billy, or Wiccan, kind of like flicks his hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Everyone freezes. Tommy, or Speed,
steals everybody's guns.
Steals everyone's guns.
And a hat and a pair of sunglasses.
Which is kind of a throwback to Days of Future Past, when Quicksilver is running through the military compound and steals a pair of glasses and a hat.
It was cool. And then they high-five.
Yeah, and then they high-five.
She just high-five. That would have been cooler.
That would have been cooler, but we fucked up. But we still did it. Don't worry.
We're still cool. We're cool, right?
My mom thinks so.
So Tracy.
Oh, Tracy. But so then Hayward, who sees the powers of the twins,
pulls out a gun,
pulls a pistol,
pulls his Glock. I don't know. I don't know guns.
It might be a Glock because that's
a handgun.
A standard military issue. But before he pulls the trigger, Monica is just getting to town center, and she's like, "No,"
because he's
stand down.
He's aiming at the kids, two little kids.
Yeah, and then he pulls the trigger
at the kids,
at the twins. Yeah, at the kids.
Because he's a dickhead.
Yeah, he's just the fucking worst. Monica jumps in front of the bullets.
Yeah.
Now her eyes are glowing like
yellow,
gold yellow.
Yeah.
As the bullets hit her, she kind of phases, just like Vision does.
The bullets kind of like go through her, but like stop and just hit the ground.
They like slow down enough so that when they exit the backside of her body, they just fall to the ground. And then
me too.
What?
Me too.
Yeah.
When I exit her backside, I just fall to the ground. Sorry. Sorry, Nicole. Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry.
Nobody knows who that is, but she'll know. Sorry, Nicole.
And then Hayward pulls the trigger one more time, moves his gun just a little bit. So the bullet flies past Monica. It goes in slow motion. She like
kind of watches it.
As it passes. And then Billy Wiccan stops that bullet.
Oh.
It drops. And then
Monica's like, "I like your powers."
Yeah, she's like, "Nice tricks."
Yeah, because I like yours too.
I like yours too.
Yeah, that's dope.
And then Tyler, like the chump piece of trash that he is, realizes that his gun no longer has ammo in it. He's facing 3 superpowered people, basically. Yeah. He jumps back into his Humvee, throws it in reverse, backs up into another car. So Hayward then throws the Humvee into drive. You hear kind of like a clown horn.
Yeah.
And bam.
Darcy.
Darcy's there. She basically
What did she say?
T-bones his Humvee into
another car
so that he
can't
trapped.
get out. Yeah.
And then it just shows Darcy and she says, "Have fun in prison." And that's literally all that we see of Darcy in this episode.
We love Darcy.
Oh my god. Yeah, she's just the greatest. But so that happens. It goes back to Vision and Anti-Vision. They basically tussle. They end
up in a library.
One of them gets thrown. I think Vision gets thrown into a library. Library.
It is brary with 2 R's.
So, like,
right?
when you get red in the face, you look like a strawberry.
Strawberry, yeah. Makes sense.
It's a Scrubs reference. I'm sorry.
I love Scrubs.
But, yes, it's a great show.
Does this mean something when I do this?
But so now they're in the library.
Yeah.
They're kind of fighting back and forth. They're spinning around. A couple of them get thrown back and forth. Vision asks again, why are you doing this?
It says, defeating Vision is my primary directive. And then Technicolor Vision basically says, but I'm not?
Yeah, he basically says, I am not the real Vision, just a contemporary, yeah, I think he says contemporary,
I don't remember the exact words. I should take notes while I'm watching these shows.
Along the lines of being, he's not the real Vision, he's just a stand-in.
He's a creation by Wanda.
Yeah. And Anti-Vision
is the actual corporeal body. Corporeal?
Yeah, that would be a right word. Yeah.
Corporeal body of Vision.
But at that point in time, Anti-Vision was about to blast Vision with his head beam.
Yeah.
And then
which is not an actual stone, it's a piece of tech, which we kind of disagreed on this a little bit. I think looks like an arc reactor, but
I don't think it's a full arc reactor.
Yeah.
It's probably a repulsor beam, but they're not using an arc reactor for a power source. Because an arc reactor would be a power source, but after the first Avengers, Tony did consult for S.H.I.E.L.D. and give them repulsor technology. Yeah. So it's at least a repulsor beam of some kind. It's just not powered by the arc reactor.
Yeah.
Because the arc reactor is just a
power source.
Yeah. It's an electromagnet.
Yeah.
An electromagnet of some sort.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Anti-Vision is about to blast Vision with it. Then he kind of stops, looks, and goes, I need you to elaborate.
I need time for elaboration.
Yeah.
Or I need elaboration.
Or I request elaboration.
I require or request elaboration. Yeah. And then Vision basically, the Theseus thing.
Yeah. So he's like, so you're familiar with the thought.
Damn, we really gotta take notes while we watch these episodes.
God, what is this?
From now on, notes.
The thought process or the thought study of the ship of Theseus.
Yeah. And
Anti-Vision's like, naturally. And he's like, and Anti-Vision basically explains what the thought process is, where there's an old ship that is in a museum.
Yeah.
But as the wood of the ship ages and decays, that wood has to be replaced.
Yeah. So who is the real ship?
At the end, when every single plank of wood from that ship has been replaced, is it still the ship?
The ship. And then Vision basically says...
Well, then Vision's like, and what's part 2 of this thought experiment?
Yeah.
He's like, well, what about the wood that has been removed?
Yeah.
Is that the ship of Theseus? Yeah. And basically what it comes down to, it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. The cat is in a box.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's alive or dead until you open the box.
Yeah.
So during that moment, during that experiment, the cat is both alive and dead.
Yeah, until you know for sure.
Yeah. So our Vision, the Technicolor Vision, is he's the real Vision, but he has no original parts.
Yeah. But
Anti-Vision has all original parts, but retains no memories or anything like that.
So then Vision our vision, Technicolor vision, suggests that he could give him his...
Well, they say that they're both Vision, but
Yeah.
they're both not Vision.
Yeah.
But the closest thing would be anti-Vision
Coming together,
because
like
he
this.
he still has so hot right
Sorry. I didn't tell you I was going to do that.
now. No, it's fine. It was fun. So anti-Vision, being that he's of original parts, he's just kind of been
You basically have
taken apart and
the
put back
mind of Vision created by Wanda and the body of Vision created by Sword
yeah.
in the room together, talking about who's the real Vision.
Yeah.
I'm just paraphrasing, but maybe if we put ourselves...
Kind of.
I was going this way, and yeah.
But so it comes down to the part of anti-Vision even acknowledges that his memories have been erased.
Yeah.
And then he even says, so I can be a better weapon.
Yeah.
Or a better tool. I think he uses the word weapon.
Tool for... I think he says... or a tool or weapon for... God damn it. I gotta take notes while we watch this. But yeah, basically he's saying that he is a weapon for somebody else's cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have memories. But because our Vision, Technicolor Vision, even though he's of no original parts, he still has the consciousness.
The memories.
And knows that he's still a carbon-based synthezoid, so his memories aren't on a traditional hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he's like, just your memories are being blocked. So he starts to approach Anti-Vision, who kind of like hesitates, and he's like, please, just trust me. Touches him like where the stone would have been. Kind of like what he did. Yes, oh yes. Kind of like what he did when he locked Ultron out of the internet.
Yeah.
In Age of Ultron. But he touches his hand to Anti-Vision's head. And says
arc reactor,
yeah,
or whatever it is.
Yeah,
power
whatever
source.
it is. The repulsor beam hole.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it.
There's a power
it's
source that was supposed to be like the Power Stone on Anti-Vision's head. So
yeah.
Technicolor Vision touches this little V on that's his power source.
Yeah.
And puts
basically
his memories into
unwipes his memory
Yeah.
because it's not on a traditional hard drive. It's more like a brain.
And the cool thing is that when he does this, is that the power source turns yellow, which is the Mind Stone's color, and his eyes also.
Well, they stop being so robotic. They kind of
God damn it! So I did not catch this. I'm so sorry. I'm yelling about this. I did not catch this in the 2 times I watched this episode. I didn't catch it. I was watching it with Nicole last night, and she goes, "Did you catch his eyes? They changed." And I'm like, "No, what?" And she goes, "Did I catch something that you didn't notice?"
Yeah,
and I'm like,
they changed from like a super robotic to matching what our Vision or the original Vision, the Technicolor Vision, back to his eyes.
Yeah,
and all Anti-Vision says is he looks at Technicolor Vision, our Vision. I feel weird calling him Technicolor Vision.
I love it. You can't say colored vision because that's
that's
weird,
frowned upon.
And then white. Hey, we got white vision and we got colored vision.
Yeah, it's not the 60s. Or I guess in today's climate now. But he looks at Vision, sorry. He looks at Vision and just mutters the phrase, I am Vision.
And then fucks off.
Flies away, and that's the last that we see of him in the episode.
Well, yeah.
In the episode.
Yes, it is.
He's not gone. He didn't just...
Well, the only reason I said, wow, is because we'll get to it. But, yeah, he basically flies through the roof of the fucking library, disappears, and, yeah, we should probably get these going soon. The ice is almost gone. But anyways, yeah. So he fucks off through the ceiling, as Chad would say. Or actually, Chad would say he yeeted through the ceiling.
He yeeted himself through the fucking ceiling.
And then we're left with, I was going to say stuck with, but we're left with
Technicolor vision just hanging out there. Now, just because I reached for a different drink, Jake did point out that we should probably talk about one of our sponsors for this week, which is Crybaby Craig's. Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. Yeah, so Anti-Vision kind of flies through the ceiling. He yeets himself out of the picture. He just fucks right off. And then it goes to Wanda and Agatha while they are flying around.
No, first the trial thing. Remember she goes, she tries to fuck with
right.
Agatha's head.
You're right.
Yeah.
So what happens there then?
So basically we see Wanda sneaks up behind Agatha, does this little thingy that she does with her hand. Which she's done to Tony in Age of Ultron.
All the Avengers.
Oh yeah, technically, yeah. Actually, yeah. She has a whole...
Yeah, she gets everyone.
Yeah. We haven't seen it since, really, I don't think. But yeah, so she does a little into the ear of Agatha. Brings her back to where Agatha was in the beginning of the episode prior, where she's being tied to a stake by her own coven. Yeah, for the MCU version of the Salem Witch Trials. Mm-hmm. So that's where they are, and Wanda is basically like, "Fuck you."
And it's a fairly quick scene,
but it's an important scene because Agatha then kind of turns it around on Wanda.
It starts out with Agatha being bound.
Yeah.
And then all the Catherine Hahn just bound.
Sorry, Nicole.
I would get. Sorry, Mom. I would. Wait, that sounds worse. We're just gonna leave it at that. Agatha gets bound to the bedpost. I mean, the singular post.
You better not cut that.
I'm not. It's not going anywhere. Sorry, Mom. If you guys haven't noticed, there's one phrase that gets repeated between every single episode. The first person to comment on it will get a free bottle of Crybaby Craig's. And probably a sticker and probably one of the powder supplements from Ray's energy drinks.
We're going to get into it at the end of the episode here, but
you can win other free shit from our sponsors.
We have some cool shit coming up for you guys.
Wanda is bound to not my bedpost, unfortunately, but just a post, just like she was at the beginning of the last episode for the witch trial.
It starts out with Agatha bound to the witch.
Did I say Wanda?
You said Wanda.
I meant Agatha. She gets bound to the post, and she's like, "No, what are you doing? You can't do this to me." As she's talking to Wanda, in all of the mummified corpses
of the witches from the prior episode
come back to life, which is very... And then it's also a tie to the Ultimate comic universe, and then where they have the zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
But so all the mummified borderline zombie witches come back to life, and they start to come on Agatha at first. They don't come on her, but they start to come onto her.
Stop it.
You're the one taking it this far, okay?
I can't. Alcohol. Anyways,
it's half the fun as to why we drink while we do this.
This is why we do. This is the plan, was to drink and do this for your entertainment and our.
I hope you're entertained. If not, I don't know why you're still watching. If you are, thank you.
Yeah, please keep it up.
Yeah. We're just going to plug this now because this is now on YouTube with full video. Like and subscribe. Smash all them buttons. And then share it on top of that. But
yeah, please tell your friends, family, maybe not your moms, because this guy cannot stop talking about his mom.
You're the one making jokes about Tracy, and she's a fucking saint.
Anyways. Jesus Christ.
So they're starting to kind of like swarm Agatha, and she kind of smirks, and then all the witches realize that Wanda
turn on Wanda
is
instead of
this situation.
Yeah. Granted, Wanda is the one who brought Agatha to this like realm. I don't know what you want to call it, like a headspace or whatever.
Headspace, alternate reality.
Yeah, and basically in Wanda's version of this, she's got Agatha up on the post,
and she thinks she has the upper hand.
And she brings the witches kind of come back to life, and they start like kind of coming towards Agatha. But then Agatha smirks, as Chad said, and then the witches turn on Wanda. Yeah. And then start chanting and shit, saying
they start chanting her name. They start chanting the phrase "Scarlet Witch."
Yeah, which is dope. Sorry,
which is so fucking cool. And then they turn from Agatha and start to swarm Wanda.
Yeah, and then Agatha breaks her. I don't want to say chains because it's like a purple.
Yeah, she breaks. She breaks the magical
off of the
binds that were tying her to the post.
And then they put Wanda up on the post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're all like smothering Wanda, calling her like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And Agatha's like, I told you, you're the Scarlet Witch. And Wanda's like, kind of basically says, fuck this, and just
busts out of it.
Busts out of her binds, throws
all the witches
her red like chaos magic everywhere.
They all eat shit.
Yeah. Well, except for Agatha, she's still standing.
Except for her, yeah, and then she
But all the witch corpses kind of like fall over.
Yeah, they eat shit.
Yeah, they eat shit. And then Wanda
fucking spears her, basically. Yeah. I mean, she runs at her and is
cross-checks the
boom!
Fuck
yeah, just
out of her.
Arms behind the knees and just shoulder into the chest and just spears her through the fucking...
And they break out of this like mind prison that she just tried to put Agatha in.
Back to the rooftop that they were on when they...
Back in the hacks.
Yeah, it's badass.
And they topple off the
Elizabeth
building.
Olsen, I know you're listening.
I hope so.
That was dope.
It was so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And Agatha kind of like starts to like... She breaks the tackle. She's kind of hovering. And Wanda's like... She snaps her fingers and just completely disappears.
Yeah.
So Agatha's like looking around. She kind of like flies away a little bit. Wanda reappears. She's throwing magic at her. Some of them are hitting Agatha, and she's absorbing them.
Yeah.
Some of them are missing. And she kind of looks at Wanda like, you aren't that good at this.
More. Give me more.
Yeah. And then she's like, give me more. Give me all of it. Give me your power.
And you see Wanda's, both of her hands at this point are black.
Yeah, they're starting to like deteriorate. She looks like, at least in her hands, starts to look like a mummy. Agatha's like, give me your power and I will...
Well, they like fly up into the sky first, right?
Well, as this is going on, she's telling Wanda, like, if you give me your power, I'll fix your spells.
Yeah, you can have this little corner of the world
where
your fake ass family is living.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. And so Wanda's like, fine, take my power. I don't want this.
But this is like after they're like in the sky.
Yeah, they're in the sky for this.
Yeah, so after Wanda tackles so in the realm where they are, where they were tied to the post or whatever, Wanda tackles Agatha out of that into the real world, and now they're floating in the sky. I don't know if we really mentioned that or not. But so while
Yeah.
all this is happening that Chad just said, they're flying in the sky.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Wanda.
My dude. Sorry.
So,
I feel like we left that part out by accident, so.
I think we did. And Wanda's like throwing energy beams or spells at Agatha. Like a few of them are missing from here and there.
Hitting the walls of the hex, which
And
we
then
get to see
I guess
Jimmy. It
does flash back to Jimmy Woo.
Yeah,
Earlier,
looking at it from
earlier I
outside.
mentioned that that's the last we saw of Jimmy, but this is... But it does flash back to Jimmy. It shows him from the outside the hex. You see like... Almost like if you were to throw a stone into a lake...
Yeah.
And it hits, and then the ripples.
Ripples, yeah.
That's what he's
on
seeing.
the walls
but from
of the
the
hex,
outside of the hex, he's seeing like, boom, and then you see the ripples flood out. And Wanda keeps throwing spells, energy, power at Agatha, and she just keeps saying,
She's taking
Agatha
it.
keeps saying, more,
She loves it, yeah.
more, give me all of it. I want all of it.
Give me more.
Yeah.
Britney Spears, yeah.
You're pretty fly for a white guy, I think she said at one point in time. Give it to me, baby. She doesn't say that.
She doesn't.
But it gets to the point where she's at least given Agatha enough power to where she can start
And
just
Wanda
taking
is Wanda,
the power from Wanda.
and Wanda's looking rough at this point.
She looks like
A mummy. She looks like the witches that you see.
She looks to be about 85 years old.
Well, basically, she looks like the witches. In the episode prior, when you see that Agatha takes the power from the other witches when they're trying to kill her, and they all drain.
Shrivel, yeah.
This is what Wanda looks like at this point. Is
Yeah, she's not fully shriveled, but she's pretty close.
bad. Yeah, it's bad.
And then just a solid, well, fairly solid red beam of energy just starts flowing out of Wanda. Agatha is laughing, just absorbing it, like, yeah, give me the shit, bitch.
And then Agatha basically says, hey, we had a deal, but the problem is that the deal that I made with you was basically bullshit.
Yeah,
and
she says along the lines of, once a spell has been cast, it can't be fixed.
Yeah. They made it
so you will always be broken.
Broken, just like you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then Agatha goes to fucking blast Wanda with a
energy beam.
And it comes out like a
yeah, so
and she's like, alright, I'm gonna try that again. Nothing happens. All of a sudden, Wanda, you see some life coming back into her.
Yeah, she basically unshrivels.
And then a little bit of a callback to the episode 7?
7 and 8.
The episode where Wanda goes down to the basement to find her kids. Is that?
Well, it's in both because it kind of ties back into both. You see the.
Well, I was talking about the runes.
Yeah. You see them in both of those episodes.
So basically, when Agatha says to Wanda in the basement of the house with the stone and shit or whatever, she basically says, you cannot, if a witch casts a spell with these runes, another witch cannot cast their spell or magic.
Her power is no good there.
So Wanda flipped that shit on her.
So it turns out that every time that Wanda was throwing a spell,
she was casting runes
and missing Agatha, she was casting runes onto the,
which is what Jimmy is seeing. Jimmy Woo is seeing from the outside. The ripples that we were talking about was Wanda was purposely missing Agatha to hit the walls of the hex and cast her runes, so that Agatha could not use her magic anymore.
Yeah. So when Agatha tries to blast Wanda and it doesn't work, suddenly these runes start to glow on the outside.
And Wanda is like an 80-year-old lady at this point, floating in the air. She looks rough.
But then the life starts to come back into her just enough so she looks like herself.
She's looking real cute.
And Agatha is looking around, seeing the runes, and Wanda goes, or Agatha's like, ruins?
Yeah.
And Wanda goes, only the witch who cast the runes power
has
can
power
work.
in this,
Any witch that tries to use her power within this space has no power
basically
here.
reciting what Agatha said to...
And then she in just a super, like if Rusty and Bitchface had a voice, it's the voice that Wanda used. I was like, thanks for the lesson.
Yeah.
Like, basically, you played yourself.
A little bit of an accent to it, too.
Yeah.
Thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, she's kind of back to her Sokovian accent here. And Agatha looks scared.
Scared as shit. Yeah, she's a little bitch now.
And then Wanda just kind of, like, opens her arms, and all of her power that she's been...
Oh, my God.
Right? All the power that she's... that she's been throwing into Agatha starts flowing back into her. And then some purple.
What does she become, Chad?
She becomes the full fucking Scarlet Witch.
Not only the full fucking Scarlet Witch, but the version of Scarlet Witch that in episode 7, when...
It's in 8. It's in the last episode.
That Wanda sees of herself when she touches the Mind Stone.
She starts getting the headdress
turns into her own version
she gets
of herself that she got. It was so
gives her comic
badass
accurate costume, and then after she said thanks for the lesson, just full Mother Russia, she then says to Agatha, and I don't need you to tell me who I am. And then Agatha like screams in pain and starts to fall. And
then she's like, I'm gonna fucking fuck you. And then she goes, what are you gonna do with me? And she goes, oh, I'm gonna give you the role that you chose.
They're back on the ground now at this point in time. Agatha like hits the ground, kind of like collapses. She's not dead.
Borderline crying.
Yeah, she's scared is what it is.
Because this is now the most powerful witch she's ever
encountered.
Yeah,
and she thought that she had the upper hand because she had read a couple of books.
Yeah, and Wanda basically goes...
Street smarts, friends. Street smarts?
Wanda basically goes, I'm going to give you the role that you chose. She goes, what are you going to do? Imprison me? And she goes... or I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to imprison you, basically. I'm going to imprison you here. And she goes, what do you mean?
Like, are you going to lock me up now? And Wanda's like, no.
And she goes, I'm going to keep you here. And she goes,
I'm going to give you the role you chose.
The nosy neighbor. And then she goes, no. Agatha's like, please don't. And then she does the tappy-tappy. You know, we've seen this for a few episodes now.
And Agatha transposes,
turns back into Agnes.
Back into Agnes.
Agnes that she has been playing, trying to figure out what was going on.
Oakley dokley neighbor.
Yeah, Oakley dokley neighbor, you know. She turned into Ned Flanders from The Simpsons.
Basically.
And she, what did she say? She goes, you don't know how to use that book.
Well,
referring to the
she said you don't know what power, you don't know what you've just unleashed.
Yeah. And then Wanda says, well, at least if I need you, I know where to find you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fucking dope.
And then she taps Agatha on the temple. She turns back into Agnes. And then she's like, well, I'll be seeing you.
Yeah.
And then Agnes, as the nosy neighbor's like, not if I see you first, hon.
Which was like, kind of like, maybe she was being like an annoying neighbor, but also like Agatha was still in there and like also like, oh bitch, I'm gonna get out of this and fucking find you. Like, yeah, it was dope.
There's a chance of that too. And then basically from there, it's just about the end of the episode.
Yeah, there's probably like 10 minutes left of the episode at that. And we'll get into that in a minute because that is dope as shit.
Basically, Wanda, Vision, and the twins are like, let's go home. So they walk home. They tuck the kids in for sleep.
Let me put the pen down. Let me put the pen down. Because we're going to get in some real shit
Before they started leaving, Vision was like, I know you'll make this right, just not for us.
Yeah.
And Wanda goes, yeah, not for us. No. Basically meaning that she has to give up this reality.
Where she's torturing people.
Yeah. To let them free.
And let her own family go.
Yeah, so they go back home. They tuck the kids into bed. It's a very sweet moment. Myself and my mother both teared up.
Aww.
I didn't tear up the second
Tracy.
or the second or third time that I watched it, but my mom definitely did. They tuck the twins into bed. Wanda says, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mom."
Mm-hmm.
All the while, you see the hex like closing in as it it crosses over
the
different
entire
parts of
time
town.
since she beat Agatha, the hex starts collapsing, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanda goes downstairs. She turns off the lights. It's like a dark living room. Vision turns back on the light. And they share a really touching moment. It's on video. I can't. They shared a very touching moment. You still see the hex like closing in on them. Vision basically turns to her and says, "I know that we can't stay like this, but I need to know, what am I?"
And she says that he is the part of the Mind Stone that lives within her. He is a system of wires and blood and bone.
Yeah.
And they cry, they kiss, they hold hands.
Vision cries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get
A
a single tear comes out of Vision.
A single tear comes down.
Because he's a robot. That's a big deal.
So he doesn't have tear ducts.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then he says, I used to be a voice without a body. I was a body. What did he say to go with the body? It was like a
we
body.
Gotta start taking notes while we watch
a body
episodes.
with no soul.
Something like that.
Along those lines, he's like, and now I've been a memory made real.
We've said goodbye before, which leads to
maybe we'll say hello again.
We'll say hello again. And then the hex swallows them.
Closes on him. You see he starts to deteriorate, turns back into just yellow light, being absorbed into Wanda.
And he says,
"Goodbye, my darling," which is a little cheesy.
A little cheesy.
Kind of ruined for me that sentimental moment.
Because it was so... before that part, it was...
I would have much
even
rather...
I was like...
I would have much rather have had him say something like, "I love you."
Or like, "Fuck you, bitch," or something. Why did you do this to me?
Maybe not that, but like, just like,
it was actually...
"I love you," or...
I'm just ruining a sweet moment because I'm an asshole. But it was actually very sweet. It was it was a tearjerker.
It was a tearjerker.
Yeah, it was a tearjerker for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucking cried.
I did not. I did.
I mean, I didn't weep, but I cried.
I know you did.
Well, a good Coca-Cola commercial will make me cry.
I got a little something. When that happened.
It hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
And then it shows her standing over the plot of land where they were supposed to build
the house.
A house
Disappears that she had built. The whole town disappears that she built. And she's standing in the open lot that she was standing in the episode before when she created everything.
Yeah.
And she basically throws her hood up and starts walking and ends up in town where...
all the residents, even though they're back to themselves, they still retain their memories. So
they hate her.
Yeah, they're looking at her with fear and disgust. Wanda walks up to Monica. Monica is like, "They'll never know what you sacrificed." And Wanda's like, "It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't change anything as to the way that they look at me."
But then Monica says, if I had your powers and your abilities, I'd bring my mom back, and I know I would do that. So I'm not any different than...
Yeah.
She doesn't say I'm not any different than you are, but she basically insinuates I would do the same thing.
And so Wanda says, "Goodbye, Monica." And then she starts to fly away. And
you hear the sirens start sounding.
Right, and then Jimmy Woo and the FBI are now swarming.
And then Wanda's like, "I don't know what this power is, but I will know."
Yeah.
And then she fucks off.
Yeah,
and Monica's like, "Good luck."
Yeah. Literally says, "Good luck, Wanda."
Yeah.
And then you see as Wanda's flying away, she kind of like transforms her outfit back into the Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch costume.
She like looks over her shoulder
at Westview, right at the outskirts of town.
Yeah, and then continues flying.
Mm-hmm. And then
end of the episode.
No, not quite.
Kind of. Well, that's the end of that episode.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. Yeah,
that's the end of the real episode. Credits roll. But another thing that we were right about, mostly me, not surprised. I told you there was going to be. Well, I didn't tell you, but
I did a jerk off motion to that. Sorry.
I speculated that there would be 2 end credit scenes in MCU fashion for this episode, and there are. The first one,
you get it,
shows Jimmy Woo, like basically coordinating,
just taking names.
Yeah, like this is where we're gonna set up medical. This is where we're going to gather evidence.
He's being a boss bitch.
Yeah, he's being a boss.
Yeah.
And Monica walks up. She's like, "Authority looks good on you."
Yeah.
And he just kind of like smirks and goes back to doing what he's doing.
And then they start making out.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
But just like a random FBI agent walks up to Monica and is like, "Captain Rambeau, they're asking for you in the theater."
Yeah.
So she follows this agent into the theater, which is completely empty.
Yeah.
And the FBI agent says, "A friend of your mom's sent me." And she kind of like
shakes her head,
twerks her neck a little bit. She turns
into a Skrull.
She's a Skrull.
She's a Skrull.
Yeah. So she goes back to her green and purple alien figure.
Yeah. And she's like,
and says that they want to talk to you. And Monica says, "Where?" And they just point up and look at the sky.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that end credit scene.
Then the actual credits roll. And if you wait for the end of that one, then you get to see excuse me.
Comes up over some mountains. It looks very like British.
Which I thought was going to be Anti-Vision, because if you remember what we were saying is Anti-Vision realizes he's Vision, he goes, "I'm Vision," and he fucks off through the roof. You don't see him again. So this is what we were saying, that we would talk about this later. So this very last end credit scene, you see like basically the camera is like floating over like a beautiful like mountains and like lake
and woods,
and I was kind of thinking personally that you were going to see Vision. You don't.
It's almost reminiscent of the end credit scene of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah. So you get.
I didn't think we were going to see the Hulk, but I thought that I didn't expect this. And what happened?
You come up on a tiny little cabin, which is like the house I grew up in, and it's like, sorry, I don't know why I did that. But basically, on the front steps of this tiny little cabin, you see Wanda, and she's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, and as she goes inside...
Probably tea, she's European.
What the fuck ever,
I'm sorry,
dude.
Not to ruin...
Whatever.
You were on a roll, too. Actually, so sorry.
I fucking hate coffee, and I drink tea. I should have said tea. That makes me annoyed that I didn't say tea.
Wow, that's cultural appropriation.
Anyways, she's drinking something.
Tea.
Tea.
You hear the teapot go off, bro.
She's drinking tea. On the front steps of this little cabin, she goes inside, and basically she grabs the... Oh, you're right, that makes sense, because she grabs the teapot off the kettle. Anyways, then it goes past her into like the bedroom or something like that.
Yeah.
And you see, now when you see her on the steps, she's in like a pair of sweatpants and like a hoodie and very plain Jane.
Yeah, she looks cozy.
Yeah. So after she grabs the tea kettle and the camera pans past her into the bedroom, you see the Scarlet Witch fully decked out in astro form, which is... Oh man, we should have brought that up too.
Yeah, well, it's reminiscent of Doctor Strange for his astral form, because he used to read books while his body was sleeping.
In astral form. So she's reading the Darkhold in her astral form, and that's badass. But we'll get to that very end part in a second, but we fucked up at a certain part here. At the part where Agatha shows Scarlet Witch, the Darkhold, she says, "You are so powerful that your power exceeds the Sorcerer Supreme."
Which
the
would be
Sorcerer
Doctor
Supreme is Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So now we see Wanda in astral form, which we've seen Doctor Strange in, reading books, reading the Darkhold, which is the only missing book that Doctor Strange never got to read.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that Elizabeth Olsen is going to be in Doctor Strange 2 and potentially Spider-Man 3.
It hasn't been confirmed,
maybe.
But hopefully.
But now she is going to be more powerful than Doctor Strange. She knows, she's reading a book that he has never read before. So she's going to know shit that he doesn't know how to do.
Yeah.
That's badass.
That is badass.
So.
Yeah, so Wanda is reading The Darkhold, which is a book that Doctor Strange has never gotten a chance to see.
Because it was missing.
And then, while she's reading it, something happens.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you take it.
Before we do that, or talk about what she hears, we do have to mention our second sponsor for this week, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. We'll talk about that right now. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with zero crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their Refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. So, Wanda is reading The Darkhold.
In an astral projection form.
Yeah. Just like Doctor Strange did in the first Doctor Strange film, where he's reading books while his body's asleep. So basically her astral form is acting autonomously.
Yeah.
Basically acquiring knowledge while she's going about her life.
Yeah. This is dope.
And while she's reading The Darkhold, she hears
her kids say, "Help. Mom, help us."
She hears the twins calling out for help. And while she's reading, full Wanda, full Scarlet Witch, her eyes kind of like open, and then you see a glow of red as she just slams
I think she shuts the book.
I would assume that she's slamming the book closed, but it's just kind of you don't see the book when she does this. It's just zoomed in on her face.
Credits roll.
Bam. Credits.
So we're going to. We have to be. We got to eat our humble pie here. Mephisto never showed up.
He never showed up.
But there are hints to Mephisto. The fly on the wall, the carvings in the fucking stone in the basement. And if you've seen the Loki trailer, we have not touched on Loki at all in any of our episodes so far because it's kind of far out. We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up soon.
Loki is like isn't until July or June.
But if you watch the trailer for Loki, you see Mephisto in the preview in a stained glass window. So we're thinking we might see him as a more...
I think that we're going to get him as we got Thanos.
He's going to be a bigger bad guy than we thought he was going to be.
Thanos starts to show up in end credit scenes, starts to kind of build a little bit more in the end credit scenes.
I think that's on us. I think that we thought that because it's a TV show, we were going to get like a bad guy per season.
Yeah.
But realistically, these seasons,
they're basically really long movies.
They directly affect the movies coming up.
Yeah.
And so these things could be... He could be like a big bad guy in a movie coming up.
It's a slow burn, is what it is.
My theory, and we've talked about this, you and I, is that realistically, in the... Mephisto opens portals and does like shit like that. Whatever.
He works within the multiverse.
So the Doctor Strange 2 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So they might just be hinting at Mephisto right now. And he could be like, hopefully, I really love Mephisto in the comics. I'm a huge comic book... We both are. Yeah. We're comic book fans. That's why we do this. I'm a huge comic book fan. And I really want to see Mephisto in these fucking movies. He's the devil. Just a giant red demon. I want to see this like fucking happen.
I think we're going to get him, but the only thing that I think that we're going to get Mephisto and Chthon kind of as the two big bads.
I'm fine with that. And
For those of you that don't know, sorry to cut you off.
No.
Chthon is the eternal god of chaos.
Yeah.
So he might be hinted at during the Eternals also. But he's the one that wrote the Darkhold.
Yeah.
And Mephisto got a hold of it in the comics. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the MCU. But Mephisto got a hold... Well, yet. Yeah, as Jake is mocking me with his head nods.
Not mocking you. I'm just saying we don't know that. We don't know that.
Yeah, he's tempting me. For those of you that don't have video in front of you. So Chthon wrote the Darkhold. And then Mephisto got a hold of the Darkhold and used that as a way to create portals between dimensions. Yeah. Fun fact, not fun fact, but just a fun tie back to like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you got to see, in my opinion, the best to date version of Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Robbie
Reyes,
and he senses the Darkhold.
He's also a different version. He's not the Nicolas Cage motorcycle version. He's Robbie Reyes. He's in a car
instead of a motorcycle.
What kind of car is it? Do you know?
It's a Camaro from the 70s. It's
dope.
American muscle. But the guy that plays Robbie Reyes in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Gabriel Luna, is a huge fan of the MCU. So if you haven't seen this, you might not appreciate it as much as I did. Because I follow Gabriel Luna on Twitter. But he tweeted on like Friday morning. It might have been Friday early morning. Because he's a huge fan of the MCU. And if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider takes the Darkhold back to the Hell Dimension.
Hell Dimension, yeah.
To protect it, to rid it of, human influence and being a dark force in the world. But Gabriel Luna, just as a fan who played Ghost Rider, tweeted out on Friday when the season finale ended. He just tweeted, like, as a joke, like, my bad, guys. I guess hiding the book under my mattress was not a good place for the Darkhold. Just as a joke.
Yeah.
Because it kind of ties them both in, because he obviously is no longer in possession of the Darkhold. Obviously, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. it's no longer canon in the MCU, so it doesn't actually take place in this dimension of Earth. But the fact that he still played along, it made me so happy, because it also hints that we're gonna see. I mean, we are gonna see Ghost Rider eventually, but it just hints that.
So I read, and this is just fan theory, so nobody take this literal, but I read that we will see Ghost Rider in the Blade reboot with Mahershala Ali. I think I fucked that name up. I'm so sorry. I'm a huge fan of him. I just
phenomenal actor. I just don't
know how to pronounce it.
I think it's Mahershala.
It's
Mersha or Mershala.
Yeah, fuck. We sound so white right now. Yeah,
that's sad because you're brown.
Well, yeah,
but
he's amazing, and I'm so happy to see him
as
Blade, because I fucking love Blade. I watched Blade when I was a little kid with my brother.
That was my first introduction to Marvel.
I had no idea that was even Marvel at that age of my life.
I didn't until I was older, but I saw that before I saw like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what makes me angry when people say like, oh, like Logan or Deadpool is the first R-rated. Bullshit. Yeah, it was Blade. Wesley Snipes, bro.
That
just fucking taking names. Yeah.
I didn't learn that. The way that I learned, this is a true story, by the way. The way that I learned that Blade was Marvel was because in the Blade 2 video game for Xbox 360, it starts with the comic book flippings to the Marvel logo.
Really?
That's how that's how I learned.
I remember him in the old Spider-Man comics. He had,
because of Morbius, right?
No, he fucking, like, there was a couple episodes where he and Spider-Man clashed, and Blade had, back then it was so much cheesier than it is now, but he had, instead of like tires on his motorcycle, he had blades. They were like circular saws, basically.
That is cheesy.
So he could like climb up like buildings with it and shit with his motorcycle, and like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I knew, Blade's been around for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Blade has been a huge part of the Marvel comics for a long time.
But anyways, where are we going with this? What happened?
Basically,
we're gonna see Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that someone who played Ghost Rider in the past is a huge fan. He loved the episode.
Yeah. Probably my favorite Ghost Rider so far.
Well, I mean, we've only seen 2.
No offense to Nick Cage. Like, look, bro, you had your time, but
Nick Cage is he's an over-the-top actor.
He's just
and in certain roles, it's right. And in other roles, Ghost Rider.
Face Off.
It's not. Oh, yeah, that too.
Face Off. Yeah. Yeah. I'm me. I'm you. No, I'm me. Yeah.
Just... Nick Cage has his place.
I love Nick Cage.
I think he's a great actor. I just think in certain roles, he has. He's an actor. Again, he's got his place.
But closing arguments here. I think we're at like an hour and a half on this thing already.
Yeah, sorry guys. We love you guys. We want to try and make this an hour-long episode,
but it's so hard because we're so funny.
We are hilarious. If you think not, you can either tell us or get fucked and stay fucked.
Actually, we would actually really like you to tell us, because we're going to call you out. And that's what we're getting to right now. Closing arguments. An idea that Chad and I had recently, very recently, is that like once a month for now, maybe we can move to more frequently if it goes well. We're going to start doing a live stream. We're going to go on Twitch.
Instagram, YouTube, Instagram. When the followership is there and we're allowed to go live on like TikTok, just because that seems like
follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, follow us on TikTok.
I hate TikTok.
He loves TikTok.
Yeah, I do.
He loves it more than I do.
I've already posted like 12 videos on TikTok. I'm a star.
And it's been like a month and a half that he's been on TikTok. I've been on TikTok for like 9 months, and I have the same number of videos. He loves it. Just follow us, but we are going to be doing some live streams.
This live stream is super exciting for us. We've talked to our sponsors. We're going to get some cool shit for you guys.
There'll be some stickers. We're going to be giving away Crybaby Craig's. Some Ray's energy drinks.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff, and as this continues, we're just going to be giving more and more away. You just have to watch the live stream.
We don't really know we don't have the exact plan down quite yet, but I think
it's basically going to be a power hour.
If any of you know what a power hour is, you take a shot of beer or Truly.
Or whiskey, or
we do not condone that either. You will die.
Well, we're not going to do full shots as frequently, but we will be drinking
shots of your drink.
Yeah, you drink for an hour,
not liquor.
Solidly.
You take a shot of your drink for 1 hour, every minute for 1 hour, and there are playlists. If you guys want to tell us some playlists you want to hear, whether it's Disney, we're gonna sing the entire time. So I hope you guys.
We're gonna start out with either
probably
like emo or pop punk power hour.
Yeah.
Every hour you take a drink.
Play along with us. If you guys follow us on the live stream, we're gonna be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and
YouTube for sure to start.
And
so
YouTube.
we will be giving
4 different platforms.
We're going to be giving away 4 giveaways for the first one.
Every 15 minutes, we're going to ask a trivia question.
Yeah.
And if whoever answers it correctly first, you're going to get a prize of our choosing, and we will send it to you. It's going to be amazing.
But you have to be following us also to qualify. If not, we're going to go to the first person that answers correctly that follows us. So you have to follow us.
Yeah.
If you answer on Instagram, make sure you're following us on Instagram. Facebook, same thing.
And if you're following us, if you're watching the live stream on Instagram and you follow us on another platform, just make sure that you prove to us that you're following us on the other platform.
Yeah, in your comment, just be like, hey I follow you on this.
And we'll check your credentials and make sure that that's true. And
if it's not, then you don't get anything for free.
You don't get the free shit.
But
it's going to be really fun. We're going to do this once, maybe twice a month.
Yeah, we're going to do it first. It's not this week. It's next.
The weekend of the... No,
we're going to do it...
The 18th.
On the 18th.
It's a Thursday.
It's the day the Snyder Cut launches. So we're going to do that.
We're getting together to watch Snyder Cut.
Watch the Snyder Cut.
And we're going to do the live stream before Snyder Cut. So please tune in for that. And we're going to give you guys some cool shit. And we're gonna get super drunk together, and hopefully you guys can play along with us. It's gonna be fun.
And as we go along, if you have fun with us, I mean, it's also time for Q&A.
Message us. It'll be live. So if you text us, we're gonna see it right away, and we can answer your questions right then and there.
Yeah. And
if you want to call us names,
or if
we'll
you
be good at that too.
If you're gonna correct us. I mean, don't be too mean. Jake has a tendency to cry way harder than I do, even though I cried with my mom while watching WandaVision. Yeah, he's already crying.
I mean...
He's a little bitch.
Why you gotta call me out, dude? It's just not cool.
Stop being a weenie.
Well,
No, but...
I got feelings, okay?
You don't. But so, really ask us questions if you know something that we don't know, or if we didn't cover a topic that you wanted us to cover about the episodes. Yeah. Up to this point, let us know. We'll talk about it. I mean, it'll be.
Oh, I got a new plan. I got a new idea. If this just happened to me, and Chad's probably gonna be like, "Fuck, dude,"
I'm gonna turn it down so fast. Just
if you can stump us on something like a question or something like that, we'll give you a prize. We'll give you the prize that we're gonna give out every 15 minutes.
You might not get the full prize, but you will get a prize.
You'll get something.
At least, at the very least, you'll at least get a sticker.
We're not rich.
Sorry. We both rent. But
see if you can get us.
If you can stump us on something,
we have not talked about this.
You'll at least get a sticker.
He's probably like, fucking goddamn it, Jake. Like right
Hey,
now.
stickers are cheap. We can do that.
We got some stickers made. We're working on some T-shirts.
Stickers of our logos. We won't have T-shirts for this.
Not yet.
But
we're working
for
on
this
them.
live stream. We'll try and have it for the next
We're
one.
working with Crybaby Craig's to get some hot sauce.
We'll have free hot sauce and free energy drinks for you guys. If you win, we'll private message you.
If you don't want to give us
before
your
that, too.
address, just give us a P.O. box or something like that. We'll mail it to you that
and then
way.
set up a P.O. box because
It'll be fun. Whatever.
We want to give you guys
Most
free
of you
stuff
are
from
probably
our
our
sponsors.
friends anyway, so you know that we're not creeps. And if you feel like we're creeps, set up a P.O. box. I'm a little bit of a creep. Just set up a P.O. box, and I'll meet you there. And I'm kidding.
We can do a dead drop. Just meet me at this park at 3 p.m. and there'll be a brown paper bag full of hot sauce and energy drinks.
Oh God.
No,
we're totally legit about this. We will not do anything weird.
Yeah,
if you want to play along and do this, please do. This is helping us. Chad and I, when we started this whole thing, we thought we were only going to have like 20 followers.
If that.
Right now we're pushing almost 200. We are exceeding our expectations, and we would really like to keep it going. So
and we want to give back to you guys because obviously right now
you guys are boosting us. We want to boost you guys up too. So
live stream on the 18th.
We'll keep talking about it.
We'll talk about it the next episode also because that will be out before the live stream. So we'll have goodies for you guys.
Yeah.
It'll be on at least those four. I've been doing 3 every time I've talked about it. There will be 4.
There'll be like this many.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll get those out so you guys can win some stuff. We'll keep going with it unless people just absolutely hate it. No. But on top of that, I mean, do check us out on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you like to get your podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify,
everything,
Goalcast, not Goalcast, podcast, just your podcast players. So you guys can find us online at www.allthingsnerdpodcast.com. On that site, there's a link to our link tree, so you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Links to our sponsors. We do have an Amazon wish list. I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but if you guys like us and you don't want to give monthly, but you want to like contribute to our like nerd memorabilia or just to gear to help us look and sound better, you can do that there. But allthingsnerdpodcast.com. Again, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, things like that.
Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
TikTok. You seem like you're so against it, but you
pretend I'm
TikTok more than I do.
I pretend that I'm so upset about TikTok.
He love it.
But it's hilarious. I love it.
You can find us on YouTube. We do not have a Twitter because Twitter's worse than TikTok.
No, this is our second episode that we'll be putting on YouTube
with full video. All of our episodes are on YouTube, but this is the second one with full video.
It's gonna be fun. I love this right here.
It's so much more fun when there's video.
Yeah. Please follow us, please.
And then also, if you guys just have comments, there's something you want us to watch, review, break down,
be mean. And whoever, even somebody last week called us out. I don't know your name. I'm so sorry. I would have to look at it, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But somebody did call us out last week on jumping the gun on the Amber Heard thing.
And you were so right.
You were right. And we are very sorry, and we corrected it this week because of you. So that just goes to show, if you comment on our shit, we're going to respond to you. So please do.
Yeah, so send us, if you have comments, send it to us. If you have things that you want us to watch, read.
If you want to call Chad handsome, please do.
Please do.
Yeah.
My mom and grandma cannot be the only 2 people that call me handsome. It's that simple. It does nothing for my ego. Yeah, if you want to email us with comments, concerns, anything like that, you can reach us at hello@allthingsnerdpodcast.com. With that being said, thank you guys so much for hanging out.
We love you guys.
Yeah, and we only know like a third of you.
Yeah, this is the point of the live stream, is we want to interact with you guys and get to know you more. Guys. And give you guys some cool shit for fucking paying attention to us being drunk and
feeding our egos.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the episode, as you guys may have noticed, we do take a shot. So we're going to close out this episode. We're going to take our shot. And, yeah, we love you guys so much. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.